It was just another gray morning in downtown Atlanta. Rain clouds loomed above, traffic lights blinked red and green like tired eyes. And somewhere, on the corner of Peachtree and Auburn Avenue, a man named Michael Carter stood still, waiting for the light to change. But that was the moment he saw her. An old lady, frail and trembling, clutching her purse with both hands, trying to cross against the rush of cars. He didn't know it yet, but helping her that morning would uncover a secret that had been buried with his late wife 2 years ago. Because around her neck hung something he thought he'd never see again. This isn't just a story about loss. It's about how kindness can reopen wounds, only to heal them in ways you'd never expect. Today we walk with a man whose small act of compassion led him straight into the arms of destiny, and maybe forgiveness. Michael Carter was 42, a widower, a father of one. He had stopped believing in miracles the day cancer took his wife, Danielle. The world had grown quiet since then, too quiet. He went to work, came home, smiled for his daughter Maya, but inside, the light was gone. That morning, as the drizzle began to fall, Michael noticed the old woman struggling. Traffic surged, horns blared, people passed her by, heads buried in their phones. He could have walked away, but something, maybe his wife's memory, pulled him forward. He took off his jacket, shielded her from the rain, and said gently, "Let me help you." His voice cracked, as though it hadn't been used in a long time. And together, step by trembling step, they crossed. When they reached the other side, she smiled faintly, reached for his hand, and that's when he saw it. A silver necklace. The same one he had buried with Danielle. A pendant shaped like two intertwined hearts. Most people would have walked away that day. Maybe you would have too, because in a busy world, kindness feels inconvenient. But Michael didn't. And that small decision, that 5-second act of care, would echo louder than he ever imagined. Michael froze. The rain, the noise, the traffic, all blurred into silence. He couldn't take his eyes off that necklace. "How?" he whispered, his heart racing. But the woman just smiled, her wrinkled eyes soft. She said her name was Miss Evelyn. She was staying at a shelter downtown, just trying to get to the pharmacy before it closed. Something in her voice reminded him of Danielle. Calm, motherly, hopeful. Michael offered to drive her. Inside the car, every tick of the blinker felt like time folding back on itself. Miss Evelyn noticed his silence. She said, "You look like a man who's seen ghosts," she said softly. He chuckled awkwardly, but the truth burned in his chest. At the pharmacy, she took out a crumpled prescription. Michael paid for it quietly, said it was on him. She cried. He didn't understand why. But that night, when he returned home, something told him to visit Danielle's grave. He needed to breathe, to think. And when he did, the pendant wasn't there. Her grave had been disturbed by last week's storm. How could Miss Evelyn have that necklace? Who was she? The next morning, Michael went to the shelter. They said Miss Evelyn had checked out, left a note for him. He opened it, hands trembling. It read, "Your wife helped me once. I was homeless, hungry, and ashamed. She gave me food, hope, and this necklace. Said it would remind me that love doesn't die. When she passed, I promised I'd find the person who loved her most and return it. tears filled Michael's eyes. He realized that Danielle's kindness, even from beyond the grave, had found its way back home. Miss Evelyn had vanished again, but in her absence, she left something bigger: peace. That evening, Michael placed the necklace around Maya's neck. He whispered, "This was your mom's way of saying she never left." You've probably scrolled past stories like this before, maybe even this one. But ask yourself, when was the last time you stopped to help someone, expecting nothing in return? Maybe this story isn't just about Michael and Danielle. Maybe it's about you. Kindness doesn't always give you answers. Sometimes it gives you reminders that love never disappears. It just changes form. And when we choose compassion, we become part of that circle that keeps giving endlessly. If this story moved you, don't keep it to yourself. Someone out there needs this reminder tonight. Subscribe to Kindness Matters Stories, because every act of kindness tells a story, and every story can change a heart.